Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are talking all about clearing and clearing tools in particular. So I'm going to share a couple different types of clearing tools I have, how to use them, what they're good for, that sort of thing. This video is really targeted for the beginner who's wanting to learn about clearing places, spaces, and their own energy. That's what this video is all about. I'm going to share some of the tools that I like to use, what I have, and different options. I hope you find it to be helpful. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so starting things off with salt. Salt is very accessible. You probably have some in your kitchen right now, and it is extremely purifying, super clearing. Different ways you can get this. This is like a block form of salt, and this is Himalayan pink salt, just one of many options. This little cube triangle situation I have here in particular, I like to keep on top of my tarot cards to keep them purified and cleared. I almost use it kind of like a stamp over my decks right before I start, just give them a little tap with the salt. But many different ways you can use this. There are salt lamps you can get. I really love those. You can just have loose salt. This is black salt. There's some little dried flowers in here as well, but black salt, more protective energy here. But also you can get just kind of salt crystals, or if you just have regular table salt, honestly, in your kitchen, that will work as well. Different ways you can use salt. You can create a scrub that you use in the shower, and you can just kind of hit your hands, your feet, use that as a way to kind of purify and kind of clear your own energy for the day, starting the day, ending the day, however you'd like. In the shower, that's a great option. You can also just keep salt around. Sometimes I will walk by my Himalayan salt lamps and just kind of like touch them, grab them, and just kind of take a deep breath, and that's another way I like to clear with salt. You can use it for your jewelry. Like if you have something like this, a solid piece of salt, you can kind of just set your jewelry on top of it and let it kind of purify that way. If you have like a large piece of salt, or if you just have maybe a bowl with some salt in it, you can put your crystals on it to purify them and clear them. Some people like to kind of almost bury their crystals into the salt. If it's like, fine grains of salt, you can do that as well. A really purifying, great option, very accessible, very cheap. You don't need to go to a special shop to get it. You can get it at a grocery store. It's really easy to come by. There's tons of different salts, but it really doesn't matter. There are different salts that are good for different things, but like I said, regular table salt, sea salt, Himalayan salt, you don't need anything fancy. It's all very purifying. Smudging, burning things, if you're into that. Disclaimer, obviously, be smart when you're burning things. Don't set your house on fire or hurt yourself, burn yourself, any of that. Be careful. But there's tons of different things you can burn for clearing. Now, smudge is one of my favorites, and right here I have some Palo Santo. The other options I have here, I've got a whole bunch of them because, like I said, this is my favorite option. Here I have some cedar. This is a brand new bundle, but cedar, this is juniper and sage wrapped together, and then this is just white sage. This is juniper and white sage here. I love burning sage, smudge in general. Sage and Palo Santo are probably my two staple go-tos, but I do really like cedar and juniper as well. There's a couple different options, but these are just the ones that I have that I use regularly. You may find that you prefer certain things, the way they smell, whatever you feel called to, use that, but I'm just kind of sharing some options that I like. Ways you can use it, you can burn sage or whatever smudge you're using to clear your house, yourself. Crystals, if you have new crystals, I like to run some sage smoke around them, or even just like if you've had crystals kind of sitting for a while, it's good to kind of just run some sage or whatever smoke you're using. Those are some different ways you can use them. Those are the ways that I like to use them. I always burn sage right before a reading. Right before I meditate, I usually burn sage or Palo Santo, depending. This is my favorite method. Obviously pick the tool that makes the most sense for you. Obviously, if burning something is gonna cause breathing issues for you, then I would avoid that, of course, but this is one of my favorite options. Now, here we have crystals. So I was talking about how you can use sage or whatever smudge you like to use to clear your crystals, but there are also some crystals that are clearing in and of themselves. One of my favorites is smoky quartz. This is a really light piece of smoky quartz, but it is smoky quartz, I promise. Smoky quartz is really good for transmuting negative energy. So it's clearing in that way. I like to kind of just hold on to it. You can take a few deep cleansing breaths. You would do that basically with all of these crystals, or you can just put them in your space, put them on your desk at work, let's say. If you feel like you get energetically kind of drained, just as like a form of protection, you can do that at work, in your home, different rooms, wherever you feel called to put it. In your car is a good one. A lot of people I know keep certain crystals in their car. I have a couple. Here I also have this shungite sphere. Shungite is very purifying. It's actually used in some water filtration. Make sure that what you're getting is legit. There's other forms of shungite that, well, they're not actually shungite, but they're being passed off as shungite. Shungi, I believe, is a common one that's from China that is not shungite. It doesn't have the same properties and qualities to it. All of this marbling you see is actually quartz. And if you look closely, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but there are these tiny gold flecks. Very few and far between, but you will see them in legitimate shungite because of where the mines are. There is pyrite that grows next to it, near it, that sort of thing. I'm trying to see if I can spot any that you can actually see on camera, but anyways, shungite, extremely purifying. It's good to protect against EMF as well, so that's another thing a lot of people do, like to have this around their electronics, desks, that sort of thing, where you have a lot of computers, phones, that sort of thing. And then the last one I have here to show you, like I said, there's tons of crystals that are clearing or purifying, protecting. I'm just sharing a few of my favorites here. This is selenite. So selenite is one of my favorite crystals. I use it for so many things, but selenite, this is window pane selenite, by the way, if you're wondering. It looks a little more crystallized, a little different, very beautiful, but selenite is like pure white light, has a very positive, radiant, high vibrational energy. And with that, it is protective in that way because negative energy cannot persist in the presence of selenite. That is the positive energy it brings to a space. That's why I always like to have it around my tarot decks. I like to have it present when I'm doing tarot readings. I like to have it just around me. I have a lot of it in my house. A lot of people I have heard like to have selenite in their house because they notice just an energetic difference. It's just very positive energy and people like to have it around for that reason. So yeah, selenite. I'd also love to know if you guys have any particular crystals that you love to use for clearing or protection. So let me know. Okay, so last clearing tool I have to share with you today is the cheapest one, and that is water. So here I just have a couple of mists. This one it's kind of tattered, the bottle. My friend makes these out of, this is moon water, so I like to spray this. This has, it's blended with essential oils. This one's called Soul, so it has essential oils corresponding to the sun in it. So this one I really love. It's very uplifting and invigorating, very positive energy. I like to spray this right before I do a tarot reading. So that's why this bottle looks well loved, because I use it a lot. I have this other one that is more kind of calming. This is the Night Mist. Has some more calming oils in it for evening, nighttime. I do like to use this for some readings depending on the energy of the reading, whatever, but water is extremely clearing. If you're ever just feeling energetically drained, have you ever noticed that when you come home and take a shower, you feel a million times better? That's because water is amazing. And it's meditative to take a shower and just kind of feel the water washing upon you and feel it sort of washing away the energy of the day. If you had a bad day, if you had kind of dealt with like difficult people, just kind of imagining that all washing away with the water as it is washing you. Water is extremely purifying in that way. That's why there's things like these mists that you can make or use. These are made with moon water that's charged under the full moon, usually with some sort of crystals in the container with the water. But that's just one option. You can totally make that yourself. You don't need to purchase these sorts of things, but you will find different water blends made with protective essential oils blended in them, or with crystals in them. Like it may be a blend of essential oils and there's some crystals in there. carrying those energies along with the water, but water in and of itself is very purifying. So if nothing else, just take a shower. Even washing your hands sometimes. Like, it sounds silly, but water is so purifying, and it's the most accessible of all. So just thought I would share that with you as well. All right, so that concludes today's video. I hope you found this to be helpful. This really was targeted towards the beginner, just kind of learning about spirituality and energy clearing. I remember when I was starting out, I was trying to understand what all these tools were, what they were for, what they were good for, how to use them, that sort of thing. So I just kind of created this little list. This is by no means a definitive list. There are many other tools for clearing. There are many other things you can do. These are just some of my favorites that I wanted to share with you all. And I hope you found it to be helpful and insightful. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, I hope you'd consider subscribing to my channel. I put out content around spirituality and tarot, have a high focus on tarot, but I also like to put out videos like this around different spiritual tools and practices to help you increase your spiritual connection in your day-to-day life and have a better awareness of these things, a better understanding of them. And I feel like all of these tools and practices changed my life. They transformed my life completely when I implemented them into my life. And so if I can help others by shedding some light on these tools and practices, and it makes a difference in your life, that is what I'm trying to do. That is all I can hope for. So again, thank you so much for watching. Take care, be well, and have a nice day. Bye.